They say pain can make you see God, but that night, Amara saw something colder than death. She saw hate. Her scream tore through the silence of her room, sharp and sudden, as if her body could no longer hold in the storm building inside her. She grabbed the edge of the wooden bed, her fingers digging into the frame as another wave of pain gripped her lower belly. Her nightgown was soaked, not just from sweat, but from the warm fluid now spreading across her thighs and the sheets beneath her. Her water had broken. The baby was coming. Outside, the rain poured heavily, loud and endless, dancing like fists on the zinc roof. Thunder rumbled in the distance. The power had gone out hours ago. The only light in the room came from a nearly burnt-out candle, trembling at the edge of her small plastic table. Amara was alone. Her husband, Toby, was working the night shift as a security guard. There was no one else. No mother. No sister. No neighbor bold enough to wade through floodwaters after midnight. The pain came again, harder now, like a belt snapping from the inside. Her knees buckled. She reached for her phone, lying just beside her pillow, its screen cracked, but still functional. With shaky fingers, she dialed the hospital number she had saved weeks ago, just in case. It rang. Once. Twice. 3 times. Then, someone picked up. Emergency, a woman's voice said flatly. Please, Amara gasped. I'm in labor. My water just broke. I need help. A pause. Then a cold question. Name? Amara. Amara Nwosu. I registered last month. I'm 37 weeks. Please, I'm alone. Another pause. The woman sounded like she was typing. Address? Amara told her, slowly, twice, just to be sure. Her breaths were short. The pain kept returning in cruel waves. Someone will be there, the woman said, and then the line went dead. Amara dropped the phone on the bed, tears already gathering in her eyes. The pain in her belly tightened again, longer this time. She dropped to her knees, holding on to the bed, groaning into the dark. The rain outside grew heavier, as if the sky itself was weeping. 15 minutes passed. Then 30. Then 45. Still, no one came. She called again. No answer. She screamed once, then bit into a towel to muffle the next cry. Her legs were shaking. Her body felt like it was breaking in pieces. She prayed in whispers. Not for strength, but for survival. The baby was coming faster than she expected. Finally, just before her strength gave out, she heard a car horn outside. She dragged herself to the window. Through the curtain, she saw it, a white van with a blue hospital logo. It was the ambulance. Relief almost made her collapse. She unlocked the door and stepped outside. Cold wind slapped her face. Rain drenched her instantly, but she didn't care. Help was here. 2 figures stepped out. A young man in scrubs. And a woman in a white coat. The woman's name tag read M. Wallace, certified midwife. Amara tried to smile, though tears blurred her vision. Please. Help me, she said, voice weak, but the midwife didn't smile back. She stopped walking. Her eyes scanned Amara slowly, taking in her skin, her swollen belly, her soaked nightgown, and the rundown building behind her. Is this the address? The midwife asked, not looking at Amara, but turning to the young nurse. Yes, Ma, the nurse said. The midwife's lips tightened. She can manage. Amara's heart sank. What? The nurse frowned. Ma, she's crowning. We need to. The midwife raised a hand. I'm not going in there. Not for her. You people always wait until it's too late. Now you want a miracle. Amara stepped forward, clutching her belly. Please. I'm in pain. I've been calling. I registered with your hospital. You said someone would come. You people, the midwife muttered. Always the same. The nurse looked panicked. Ma, please, but the midwife was already walking back toward the ambulance. Amara stared at her, rain dripping from her face, mixing with tears and blood. "Please don't leave me," she cried. "I'm a human being. I'm begging you." The midwife turned once, and said, without a trace of pity, "You're not my kind." Then she stepped into the van and shut the door. Amara stood there for a few seconds, frozen. Not just because of the rain, or the pain, but because of the words that had just been thrown at her like stones. "You're not my kind." The words didn't just hurt her ears. They pierced her soul. The midwife had shut the ambulance door. The engine stayed on. The headlights lit up the compound like a stage, but no one moved. The young nurse remained outside. He looked at the ambulance, then at Amara, then back again. His hands were shaking slightly. He looked like a boy forced to choose between rules and righteousness. Amara sank slowly to the ground, her hands clutching her belly. The next contraction hit her hard. She let out a sound that wasn't quite a scream and not yet a cry. Her leg stretched out on the wet cement. Blood pooled beneath her. "Help me," she whispered. The nurse stepped closer. He looked torn. He leaned toward the ambulance and knocked on the window. "Ma, please," he called. "She's bleeding. The baby is coming. We need to help her." The window rolled down just a little. The midwife's face appeared. Cold. Tight. Unmoved. "You want to lose your job over that one?" she asked, her voice low. "Go inside if you want. But you're on your own. I won't protect you." She rolled the window back up. The nurse stood there for a moment longer, then turned. His eyes met Amara's. She saw the fear in them, but also something else. Pity. And maybe courage. He ran to her side and knelt beside her in the rain. "My name is Daniel," he said quickly. "We don't have much time. I'm going to help you." Tears spilled from Amara's eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. He pulled off his jacket and placed it on the wet ground. He gently helped her lie on it. Daniel knelt beside her, rain soaking his scrubs, but he didn't flinch. He pulled gloves from his bag, hands trembling but determined. From a pouch strapped around his waist, he removed clean pads, clamps, scissors, and a rolled-up sterile sheet. "It's going to be okay," he kept saying, voice low but strong. "You just have to listen to me. Breathe with me. When I say push, you push." Amara nodded weakly, too exhausted to speak. Her eyes rolled slightly as another contraction gripped her body. Her back arched, and a strangled cry escaped her lips. "You're doing great," he said. "We're almost there." The midwife remained inside the ambulance, watching from behind the glass, untouched by the storm. Unmoved by the scene before her, Amara whimpered through clenched teeth. I can't." "Yes, you can. You are strong. Just one more. I can see the baby's head." The words gave her something: hope, strength, maybe both. She pushed, her body burning, stretching, screaming, and then the sound came. The sharp, strong cry pierced the storm. Daniel caught the baby carefully. "It's a girl," he said, joy breaking through the rain. "You did it." He placed the crying newborn on Amara's chest, wrapping her in clean cloth from his kit. Amara held her daughter, tears of relief mixing with the downpour on her face. "She's beautiful," Daniel said, wiping sweat from his brow. "You both are safe now." Amara could barely speak. She looked at the child, then at Daniel. "God bless you." Daniel checked their vitals quickly. Everything looked stable, for now. "We need to get you both into the ambulance. We'll keep her warm and drive straight to the hospital." Daniel lifted the baby gently, swaddled tight against the cold, then helped Amara to her feet. She leaned on him, weak but still holding on. Each step was slow, but they made it to the ambulance. The back door swung open. The midwife sat inside, arms crossed, eyes full of judgment. Her gaze fell on the newborn in Daniel's arms, then shifted to Amara with something between disgust and disbelief. "You let her bleed all over the front," she muttered. "Animals." Daniel ignored her. He helped Amara onto the stretcher and secured the baby in a warm blanket beside her. "She almost died out there," he said, voice firm. "If I hadn't helped her, we'd be calling the morgue instead of pediatrics." The midwife scoffed. "You think you're a hero?" "No," Daniel said, meeting her eyes. "I think I'm human." He turned his back on her and stayed beside Amara the entire ride. When they arrived at the hospital, a young female doctor came rushing to the ambulance. Her name was Dr. Stella, and she quickly took over. She looked at Amara, her baby, and Daniel, then turned sharply to the midwife. "You abandoned a laboring woman?" she asked. "On what grounds?" The midwife didn't answer. Dr. Stella's voice rose. "We will report this. Every detail. She could have died. The baby could have died." The midwife stepped back, mumbling something about protocols and misunderstandings. But it was too late. Daniel and Dr. Stella walked with Amara into the hospital, where warmth, light, and care finally met her. Nurses smiled. The baby was examined. Amara was cleaned, stitched, and fed. She was safe. A few days later, Daniel visited her room. The baby was asleep in her arms. Amara smiled weakly. "I named her Nkem," she said. "It means, my own. She's mine. And I'm alive because of you." Daniel smiled, tears in his eyes. "No. You're alive because you didn't give up." Outside the hospital, the sky was clear. No more thunder. Just a quiet dawn, soft and full of promise.